The legend recounts that when Temujin was just born, he held a clot of blood in his hand. The wise elders in the village believed that this child had been marked by the gods and would surely carry a strange destiny with him. However, many people in the tribe began to speculate about a bloody future foretold. As the child grew up, gradually reaching for power and bringing war to countless nations and lands, taking the lives of millions of people. At its height in 1309, the Mongol Empire stretched over 9,700 kilometers, approximately 1/4 of the Earth's circumference. With a territory covering 24 million square kilometers, nearly 1/5 of the Earth's land area, and ruled over 100 million people with a Mongol population of 2 million. When mentioning Genghis Khan, we can be certain that he is one of the most fearsome conquerors ever to have lived on this earth, a rare military genius in the flow of human history. This man conducted countless unstoppable invasions across the Asian-Eurasian continent, crushing numerous nations, burning countless villages, and massacring countless lives. Above all, the foundation of the empire he built facilitated the reconnection of the east and west poles of the old world, ushering in the Pax Mongolica era, which laid the groundwork for the later rise of Europe. Was Genghis Khan a cruel barbarian or a unifier paving the way for the modern world? Let's explore the mysteries of Genghis Khan's life in today's video. Genghis Khan's real name was Temujin, the son of a Mongol chieftain named Yesugei and his wife Hoelun. He was born at Deliyun Boldak near the Onon River in what is now Mongolia. Most historians believe he was born in 1162. His name, Temujin, in Mongolian, means blacksmith. At the time of Temujin's birth, his father had just returned from a victorious battle, bringing back a prisoner from the enemy's side, who was also named Temujin. Therefore, following Mongol custom, he was named after this war trophy. At the time, the Mongolian plateau was not unified under a single state, but were divided among various factions. The most notable of these were 5 major powers: the Mongols, the Tatars, the Karites, the Merkits, and the Naimans. Temujin, later known as Genghis Khan, belonged to the Kiat-Borjigin clan, descended from the mythical Alan Goa, said to be the progeny of a union between a gray wolf and a doe. The Kiat clan was one of the 3 main clans of the Mongols, along with the Taichiud and the Jadaran. Apart from these 5 powers, there was another force that, although not part of the steppes, frequently interfered in Mongolian tribal politics, the Jin dynasty in northern China. The Jin dynasty was established after the Jurchens overthrew the Khitan Liao dynasty. Unlike the Liao, the Jin dynasty could not establish direct control over Mongolia, seeing the various factions on the steppe as a threat. To ensure that the Mongolian steppes would never unify, the Jin employed the strategy of using barbarians to control barbarians used by previous Chinese dynasties. They used gold, silver, and trade routes to ally with and protect the nomadic forces that submitted to them while continuously inciting conflicts among the Mongolian tribes. There was blood debt between the Mongols and the Tatars because a previous Mongol Khan, Ambagai, was captured and killed by the Tatars in collusion with the Jin dynasty. This was a shared enmity among the Mongols. Additionally, Temujin had his own personal vendetta against the Tatars, as his father, Yesugei, was poisoned by the Tatars when Temujin was 9 years old, leading to his father's painful death and Temujin's subsequent harsh childhood. According to Mongolian tradition, to become a leader, one must have military talent. Lineage is just secondary. Although Temujin's family had noble lineage, they lost their power base, causing their clan members to abandon them and join the Taichiud tribe. Left with him were his mother, his siblings, a stepmother along with her 2 children, and a few relatives. Additionally, Temujin was betrothed to a girl named Borte from the Conqueror tribe. and had formed a blood brotherhood with Jamuka of the Jadaran tribe, who would later become a formidable adversary. With his father dead, Temujin's family had to rely on each other for survival on the steppes. During this period, Temujin and his full brother, Kasar, had conflicts with their half-brothers, Begder and Belgute, leading Temujin and Kasar to kill Begder. They also faced many dangers from hostile tribes, horse thieves, and the harsh environment of the steppes. Despite these challenges, these adversities helped to forge Temujin's character, and he was not without allies. Upon reaching adulthood, Temujin was once captured by the Taichiyud, but managed to escape. He then married Borte and formed an alliance with his father's blood brother, Togrul, the leader of the Karaite tribe. However, shortly after, the Merkits attacked, and although Temujin escaped, his wife Borta was captured. Temujin sought the help of Togrul and Jamuka to rescue her. After months in captivity, Borte was finally rescued and gave birth to a son soon after, named Jochi, meaning guest in Mongolian. Although Temujin claimed Jochi as his son, doubts about Jochi's true paternity persisted and would continue to haunt the family in the years to come. After Jochi, Borte bore Temujin 3 more sons, Chagatai, Ogadei, and Tolui. These sons, along with their elder brother Jochi, would later play significant roles in the Mongol Empire. The year 1180 marked Temujin's official entry into the political arena of the Mongolian steppes, as he defeated the Merkits tribe. Temujin's reputation grew, attracting more followers, including those who had previously abandoned his family but now returned to his fold. His power continued to grow, causing Jamuka to feel threatened, leading to a rift between the two friends. In 1186, with support from various tribes, Temujin proclaimed himself Khan of the Mongols and began challenging other powers on the steppes. Jamuka, feeling threatened by Temujin's rising power, unexpectedly attacked with his entire army of 30,000 men. Temujin suffered a crushing defeat at Dalan Baljut and had to flee, seeking refuge in hiding. Temujin was forced to flee to the Jin dynasty for refuge, while also regrouping his forces. This period may be seen as a stain and humiliation in Temujin's life, as he had to seek shelter from his lifelong enemies, leading to this being erased from the history of the Mongol Empire. 10 years later, in 1196, much to the surprise of his enemies, Temujin reappeared under the guise of a vassal of the Jin dynasty, as the Jin decided to punish the Tatars, who were becoming increasingly powerful and uncontrollable. This punitive force was commanded by someone named Wang Khan of the Jin dynasty. After the victory, Temujin was granted titles, becoming the chief of staff, while Togrul was made King Khan by the Jin dynasty. About 5 years later, in 1201, Temujin once again became a formidable force on the steppes. Enemy forces such as the Taichiyud, Tatars, Naimans, and Merkits all appointed Jamuka as the Great Khan, similar to Kagan, to lead the alliance against Temujin. However, this time, Temujin achieved a decisive victory over Jamuka, wiping out the Taichiyud tribe, further enhancing his reputation. Subsequently, Temujin continued his alliance with Togrul to wage war against the remaining forces of the Tatars, Naimans, and Merkits. When the Tatars were defeated, Temujin remembered the past grievances and hardships, seeking brutal revenge by slaughtering all the men and enslaving the women and children. After consecutive victories, it was now Temujin's own ally, Togrul, who feared being overshadowed. Togrul listened to his son's advice and conspired to overthrow Temujin. Temujin tried to reconcile by proposing a marriage between his son Jochi and Togrul's daughter, and by arranging a marriage between his daughter and Togrul's son. Togrul pretended to agree, but secretly gathered his forces and launched a surprise attack on Temujin's camp. Despite being forewarned, Temujin was defeated at the Battle of Kalakalajid Sands in 1203. Once again, fate plunged him into hardship. He fled eastward with his followers to rebuild his forces, sometimes lacking food and having to drink dirty water from Lake Baljuna. It was at this time that Temujin made a solemn oath. "Whoever drinks the water of this muddy lake with me today will enjoy eternal glory, prosperity, wealth for their descendants for generations to come." At Baljuna, Temujin also welcomed a small leader named Kaban into his ranks. Kaban had a son named Subotai, who would later become the most important general in the expansion of the Mongol Empire. This legendary figure is revered as Subotai the Valiant in Mongolian. As for Togrul, his celebration of victory was short-lived, as Temujin soon returned and gradually regained the upper hand. He had his own brother, Kasar, pretend to surrender to Togrul, only to launch a surprise attack later. Togrul was defeated and killed while fleeing, and the entire Kariat tribe surrendered to Temujin. After 1203, Temujin emerged as the most powerful force on the steppes, achieving consecutive victories, which is defeating the Naiman people in the Battle of Kelgatay in 1204, crushing the Merkits in the Battle of Karadai Hujaur the same year, and subduing the Uyghur tribe on the border of the Jin dynasty. The Uyghurs had previously been vassals of the Jin and were responsible for guarding the crucial pass linking the steppes with the northern region, laying the groundwork for the later Mongol invasion of the Jin dynasty in 1211. In 1206, Temujin convened the Kurultai Assembly at the Onon River to officially declare the unification of Mongolia, naming the state the Great Mongol State. He chose not to use the titles Khan or Kagan, instead opting for a unique title to assert his superiority over his predecessors. Temujin proclaimed himself as Genghis Khan, meaning King of all kings, and began implementing a series of extensive political and military reforms for his new empire. Genghis Khan divided Mongolia into three parts: left, right, and center wings. These were the largest administrative and military units of the empire. Within each part were smaller units following a decimal system. Genghis Khan himself headed the state, surrounded by the keeps, literally daring ones, a system of brave officers who played crucial roles in both politics and the military. His four sons held important positions known as the Four Pillars of the state. Yoki managed hunting due to his skill in archery. Chagatai strictly adhered to laws and traditions, overseeing legal matters. Ogadei, gentle and skilled in management, handled administrative affairs. Tolui, the youngest but most talented in military matters, was in charge of military affairs. Genghis Khan then began to eradicate the religious power of the shamanic priests, gradually transforming himself into the religious leader of the Mongols. He also adopted the Uyghur script to create the Mongolian script, from which he formulated the Yasa, a code of law. In terms of military, Genghis Khan possessed a relatively small but highly skilled and experienced force after decades of warfare. Furthermore, he implemented numerous progressive reforms, gradually turning the Mongol army into the most efficient war machine of the time. After stabilizing the steppes, Genghis Khan began to expand his influence beyond, with his first target being the Jin dynasty, a long-standing enemy of the Mongols. Additionally, the wealth of the Song dynasty was an enticing prospect for nomadic tribes. To pave the way for an assault on the Jin, Genghis Khan attacked the Western Xia in 1207 to break the alliance between the Jin and Xia. The Western Xia ruler, Xuanzong, sought aid from the Jin, but received no response, ultimately submitting to the Mongols. After subduing the Western Xia as vassals, Genghis Khan began preparations to attack the Jin. In 1210, a Jin envoy requested Genghis Khan's submission to the new Jin emperor, Wanyan Yongji, as Genghis Khan was still nominally a general of the Jin. However, not only did Genghis Khan refuse, but he also insulted the Jin emperor, even stating that the emperor must be a heavenly being like me. In 1211, Genghis Khan led his forces to attack the Jin. Despite being outnumbered, the Mongol army achieved a decisive victory at the Battle of Yahuling, permanently altering the power balance in North China. Mongols continued to launch attacks on the Jin, forcing the Jin emperor to abandon its capital in Zhongdu and relocate to Bianjing, Kaifeng, south of the Yangtze River. Genghis Khan continued numerous campaigns against the Jin. In 1214, the Mongol army penetrated deep into Jin territory. Emperor Xuanzong of Jin had to beg for peace, ceding territories, offering gold and silver treasures, and marrying a princess to Genghis Khan in exchange for withdrawal. Despite the apparent reconciliation, Emperor Xuanzong remained wary, immediately relocating the capital to Kaifeng. Genghis Khan, believing the Jin dynasty had violated the treaty, launched another offensive in 1215. The war between the Jin and the Mongols continued even after Genghis Khan's death, ultimately ending when the Mongols allied with the Song dynasty to defeat the Jin in 1234. On the Western Front, Genghis Khan pursued the remnants of the Naiman and Merkit tribes, annexed the western Liao in 1218, and expanded the empire's border to the Khwarezmian Empire, a Muslim state. Eventually, tensions escalated into war when a Khwarezmian official arrested and executed a Mongol trade caravan. Angered by Muhammad II's provocations, Genghis Khan decided to launch a full-scale invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire. Leaving his general Mukhali to continue the war against the Jin, Genghis Khan gathered a massive army and marched westward. The Mongol army crossed the Tian Shan Mountains and the Gobi Desert, reaching the eastern border of the Khwarezmian Empire. They quickly captured the city of Otrar and executed the governor in retaliation for the offense against Genghis Khan. After seizing Otrar, the Mongol army proceeded to capture the major cities of the Khwarezmian Empire, forcing Muhammad II to retreat continuously. Ultimately, Muhammad II died on an island in the Caspian Sea in 1220, leading to the collapse of the Khwarezmian Empire. The Mongols thus gained vast territories in Central Asia, solidifying their reputation for both military prowess and brutality. During this time, Genghis Khan's relationship with his eldest son, Yoshi, grew increasingly distant and strained, culminating in Jochi's death from illness. Upon returning to Mongolia, Genghis Khan planned to invade the Western Xia after they broke their alliance with the Mongols to align with the Jin. This campaign marked Genghis Khan's final military expedition. Prior to embarking on the campaign against the Khwarezmian Empire, the Western Xia had refused to participate and even declined to contribute troops against the Jin. Furthermore, they had turned against the Mongols, aiding the Jin in their war against Genghis Khan, leading to the death of the Mongol general Mukhali. Therefore, Genghis Khan harbored intense hatred towards the Western Xia and vowed to annihilate the kingdom. In 1226, Genghis Khan led a massive army to attack the Western Xia. The Mongol forces captured the cities of Heihe, Kamzhou, and Suzhou, West Lanzhou, besieged the city of Lingzhou, and defeated the relief forces of the Western Xia. In 1227, the Mongol army attacked the capital, Yinchuan, seizing Lintao, Jining County, Tongguan, Duyun, and besieging the Western Xia court at Zhongxing. Finally, the Western Xia ruler Li Xian surrendered and handed over the city. However, just one day before the deadline for surrender, Genghis Khan passed away. Previously, during a hunting expedition, Genghis Khan fell from his horse, leading to a critical illness. Before his death, Genghis Khan articulated military strategies involving the Mongols, Jin, and Song, even providing specific battle plans. After his passing, the Western Xia royal family was slaughtered entirely. Following Genghis Khan's instructions, the Mongols razed and burned the cities, palaces, and temples, and massacred countless Western Xia civilians. Genghis Khan passed away in 1227 at the age of approximately 65. To this day, no one knows his burial site. Later, when Genghis Khan's grandson, Kublai Khan, established the Yuan dynasty, he posthumously honored Genghis Khan as the Yuan Shizu, with the temple name of Taizu and the posthumous title of Emperor Shengwu of the Great Yuan. Throughout his life, Genghis Khan spent over 40 years in warfare, transforming the Mongol Empire from a small state into the most powerful force in the world. He turned the Mongol army into an efficient and formidable war machine of his time. It is no coincidence that countless historians and military strategists later referred to him as a military genius unparalleled in history and honored Genghis Khan as the Emperor of Conquest.